What's up, guys, and welcome back. So a lot of you may or may not know this, but ARK Survival Evolved was created by a company called Studio Wildcard. They've created a lot of games in the past. Some of those games, actually all of those games, have been terrible, including ARK. They're buggy, they're full of glitches, they're exploitable, the devs don't really put a lot of effort into fixing things, and the company as a whole really is great at coming up with amazing concepts for games, but really poor at executing those concepts. And so actually announced a brand new game coming out in early access next Thursday called Atlas. We're gonna look at the trailer, dig into what we know about this game, and I'll actually be starting a series on this next week. If the game's good, we'll keep playing it, but like, you don't know with Studio Wildcard. It's either a hit or a miss. Like, ARK got big because it's the first of its kind. It's a crazy dinosaur game, but the truth is, ARK is plagued with bugs, it's plagued with exploiting, and it's plagued with issues that haven't been fixed in years. And if this game is anything like ARK, this game's gonna fall apart very quick. But what we know. So Atlas is a brand new multiplayer game that's going to come out as an MMO. So that means it's going to be just massive online game. And we know that there's one server, right? There's one single server to play on. Now you can host your own, but as far as official goes, there's one server. And the official server will hold 40,000 people. So you can play on a map with 40,000 people, and the map size is 1,200 times bigger than ARK's map. So just let that sink in for a second. So it's unbelievable in scale. And they're saying that you're going to be able to do almost anything in this game. You'll be able to run economies. You can take over islands. You can create governments. You can create a Loverfella island. You guys could join that island. I could be the leader, and then we could literally create our own laws and enforce those laws. So one of our laws could be, if you land on our island, you have to subscribe to me, or something stupid. You have to pay us taxes, whatever. A huge, ambitious game right now. And what they're trying to do with this is one of the most ambitious things I've ever seen in gaming. And that's kind of why it's crazy to me, because it's a really good idea, but the execution will probably not be there. I mean, that's my early take on it, is that it won't be there, because notoriously, Wildcard just doesn't, they just can't do it, you know? They're not a great company. Like I said, their ideas are great. Their execution is just not great. I hope there's not undermeshing. I hope there's not crazy glitches and exploits. I hope that a different team created this game than has created ARK and Dark and Light, but I really have no idea. So without any further ado, let's jump into the trailer here and take a look at it and see what kind of things we can expect maybe next Thursday when this game finally drops. So it's a minute and a half. I'm going to pause it frequently just to kind of note out and point some things out that we're looking at here. But just before we even play the video, in the first few seconds, I'm actually going to mute it so I don't get copyrighted. You can see a bunch of NPCs around, right? It almost looks like it's a live area, like all these people walking around. I'll play it again. People everywhere, dancers, statues. Now, these are actually NPCs, and from my understanding, you can pay them to join you. So instead of taming dinosaurs, which by the way you can tame in this game, actual creatures and sea monsters, I think you can also tame people and use them as part of your force. So some people are describing this game as if Sea of Thieves, Final Fantasy, and Witcher came together, but the ARK devs may ruin it. So I don't know, it could be amazing, it could not be. We really have no idea at this point. But you can tame people. So we know that, and that's really cool. So we'll keep playing this trailer here, and you saw that little clip there maybe for a second. There's a nice looking boat. And our understanding is that the boats are extremely customizable. So you can add giant cannons in the front, you can add walls around your boat, and all kinds of building. So it's cool to me that you can customize your boats. But it's also concerning, because when you allow people to customize things without restrictions, and I don't know if it's restricted or not, it leads you to situations where people are exploitative. I don't know if that's how you say that, but I'm worried people will build these crazy glitchy boats that may make multiplayer really challenging online. But another thing to think about is, while you're playing this game and you're sailing your boat through the ocean and the seas, there's actually a very good chance you could lose everything, right? If all of your stuff is on this boat and you get taken down, you're losing all of it and you're starting over. And with 40,000 players online at any moment, who knows what could happen. Apart from the boats, you can see that there's some mythical creatures in here, so it seems like they're pulling some Dark and Light ideas into it, which I actually think is cool. So you've got archers, we can see here with bows on the back of horses that are shooting what appears to be flame arrows right here. We've got a cannon guy, a horse, a couple more archers, and this is maybe a 4 or 5 headed giant monster, and then there's something else here, maybe like an ogre or something with a giant stick. So I like the medieval feel it's given us right now. It looks cool. The dragons seem to shoot out maybe giant fireballs from their mouth. Here you can see we've got a nice fishing scene. So I can't really tell on this one, but there's obviously hammer's head shark. I'm assuming you can tame that. But then there's a little something here. It's like a puffer fish. I don't really know what that is. I don't know if that's bait, but there's some type of fishing here. And this is actually another fun fact for you, one of the smallest boats in the game. So you can get 5 types of boats when the game first comes out. This is obviously the smallest. So when you lose everything, you're going to be harvesting resources and crafting a boat like that. So very cool. I like it a lot. So here we have, I don't know what that is. So let's go ahead and rewind that real quick and take a look. It looks like it, okay, so we've got these little things here. I think it's a type of magnifying glass or spyglass type thing. So He zooms in, clean transition to a giant shark. They've got harpoons on the boat. I see them throwing them at the shark. I don't see any cannons on this boat, but we just see the giant creature. That's absolutely massive, and a really cool looking map there. Another interesting thing is that they actually say the entire game is created from scratch by hand. So I'm curious to see how many reused assets are in the game, if it's actually going to feel good, because 1,200 times the size of ARK's map is unbelievable. The island, for reference. So that's crazy. But I think it's actually, I can't remember if it's more dense or less dense, because 40,000 people, it's 12. I think it's going to be more dense than ARK. So it's absolutely insane to think about what's going to happen. So here, there's some more magic. There's like a fire elemental type creature. You can see a gun, flak armor, and a nice map. So maybe some type of treasure hunting here is what I'm getting, which is really, yeah, it is. Okay, there's a shovel, so it must be treasure hunting. And I'm guessing killing this little flame demon is part of it. Then we jump into a cave scene right here, and it looks like, I know it's kind of hard to see, but it seems like you've got dual-wielded, cool-looking pistols. Maybe he's riding some kind of horse here, but they're fighting, I would say, monsters in this cave, right? They've got this cool little, I don't know, something about them makes them feel like they're like cave monsters, so I think that's really interesting. I like it. Looks like we've got some brawling here, some fist brawling, really quick shot there. Sword fighting, obviously, in a game, climbing up the crow's tower and pulling out the spyglass. So very cool. Now here's a scene with a lot of stuff in it, a lot of cool things to look at. Big galleon ship right here, massive ship. I don't know if these are cannons or like lava to pour out. I'm not really sure, boiling oil maybe. But very cool looking base. This seems like something you could build. Looks like little door frames and ceilings. So I like what I'm seeing here. It's really beautiful. ARK, as much as I hate Wildcard, they're really great at graphics. They really can do them well, even though they're not. They don't run well. And they did say in an interview, they think this game will actually run better than ARK. So they said it already does. I forget how much by, but we'll see what happens. So nice cannon battle coming in here. So the ships are raiding. Very, very cool. I like what I'm seeing here. And honestly, I'm actually really excited. I know that I'm kind of giving you guys this cautiously optimistic look at it. But the truth is, ARK had such a special place in my heart for so long. It was a game that really just started everything for me. It was a game that really took me so far through YouTube. And it just started to get boring. It started to get stale. The expansions felt like a money grab, and the company that ran it just didn't do great. And I think a fresh start with a new original idea like this could be really powerful. And if it's similar to how ARK was in the first few weeks, I could see this being a massive game for me. So I'm really excited to see what's coming, which is why I've done so much research on this already, obviously. So I'm not sure what this is. It seems like there's some types of arrows here. I don't know if that's like a quiver. But obviously, you've got your boat that can sink and you can lose everything. It seems also like you're able to scuba dive and actually recover items from sunken ships, treasure perhaps. Maybe you could loot, raid a boat and then go inside and loot it. So I'm really excited for that. That actually sounds incredible. Like there's Sea of Thieves, great game, but it looks beautiful, but it's so boring, right? This game I think is likely going to do what Sea of Thieves should have done, but unfortunately it's Studio Wildcard that made the game. So in my opinion, if a game like this was made by the people who made Sea of Thieves, it would be one of the greatest games of all time. Now, here it looks like we've got a really strange looking sniper made of wood. Could be wrong. Massive tornadoes, maybe a giant tentacle monster. We've got fireballs coming in, a lot of stuff in the scene. Tameable dragons are back. It looks like a wyvern of some type. Totally wrecking ships right here, very cool. And you can see in the little logo here, we've got a nice sword and a little handheld pistol. So there's a lot of stuff in this trailer. There's a lot of teasers, but I'll tell you guys why I'm concerned about this. The reason is because this trailer came out and the early access is launching a week after the trailer. They really didn't give it any time to hype. They really didn't give it any time for people to get excited about. They just said, oh, here comes a game, let's drop it, coming out Thursday. It's just really weird how they dropped it. And there's no early access gameplay right now. No one's been given an early key, which is always a red flag, because to me, if they're giving out a key, that means they're confident. They're not giving out a key to YouTubers, not even myself, any YouTuber. I haven't seen any. That means they're maybe a little worried. Maybe they're like, hey, people might see this before it's released and they're gonna form negative opinions because XYZ told them that it wasn't a great game. But again, I am optimistic. Like if you look at some of the scenes here, the visuals, the graphics, the potential here should be massive. There are islands you can take over, the government, the 40,000 people, the fact that you can make clans, the laws you can make, the animals you can tame. There's crafting, harvesting, cutting trees, collecting rocks, all the stuff that you love from ARK and more. I think there's a real chance that this game is going to go one of two ways. It's going to be very polarizing. In my opinion, it's either going to be a huge game that becomes a top 5 seller and played game on Steam. It's going to take over ARK. or it's going to come out and like Dark and Light be an extremely hyped game and fall through the cracks. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm really pulling for them this time because I would love to see a really good craftable MMO Navy-based online game. So guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below if you want to see this game, if you're excited to see the series when I start it next week. If you are, we will definitely be doing that. But as far as this video goes, guys, spread the love, have an awesome day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.